Hola, en los últimos videos hemos estado hablando de los cambios de raíz, okay? Those verbs that change in their stem, in their root. And we're going to continue with our last group of verbs, and these are the verbs that have an E in the root of their word, and that E is going to change into the letter I, okay? So there are not a ton of these words, but there are a few. One of the most common is the verb pedir, which means to ask for, okay, or to order. So if I make my chart, remember we've got yo, we've got tú, we have usted, él, and ella down here. Up here we have nosotros and nosotras, and then we have ustedes and ellos and ellas, okay? So if you remember from the last two videos, these changes are only going to occur in this area, right? We call them, some people call them boot verbs. This is a terrible looking boot, but you know, maybe. Because this change occurs everywhere except nosotros. Nosotros is the exception. So here, instead of yo pedo, which would be terrible because a pedo is a fart, it would become yo pido. Okay, pido. You might notice that D is a little soft, almost like a TH, pido. Not a strong pido, pido, pido. Tú pides. Cuando vamos al restaurante, siempre pides lo mismo. You always order the same thing, pides. Él, ella, usted is going to become pide. Pide. Ella nunca pide ayuda. She never asks for help, even though she should. Pide. Ustedes piden. Okay, piden. Siempre piden agua con su comida. However, when I come up here to nosotros, this is the only one that does not make the change. So instead of pedimos, it's going to be pedimos. Okay, pedimos. Also note, it is an IR verb, right? So I have my IR ending for nosotros. Pedimos. Okay, pido, pides, pide, piden, pedimos. There are a lot of verbs. I shouldn't say a lot. There are very few verbs that we use regularly that make this change. Although you may have noticed there are quite a few verbs that do have cambios de raíz in them. All right. Some verbs that are similar to pedir include medir, which means to measure. We also use medir to talk about how tall somebody is. ¿Cuánto mides? How tall are you? Mido 5 pies 4 pulgadas. I am 5'4". 4 foot, not that short. Medir. Another common one is servir, which means to serve. Okay, este restaurante no sirve alcohol. Another one is repetir. Now, repetir, you might notice, has two E's, right? So which E is the one that changes? Well, just like our last stem change, the E to IE, the E that changes is going to be the one closest to the ending. All right, so it becomes repito, repites, repite. Okay, not ripeto, ripeto. That just sounds weird, right? Repite. So it's the E closest to the ending. Another common one that changes like this is despedir, which you might notice has pedir in it. So any other verb that ends with pedir is also going to have this change. And once again, we have two E's. The one that makes the change is the one closest to the ending, despides. Despedir means to fire a person. But however, if I put like say in front of it, say despiden, that means they say goodbye to each other. So, you know, think about it this way. If you fire someone, you're saying goodbye to them permanently. Another one that ends in pedir would be impedir. Impedir, which means to impede. Impede meaning to halt progress on. Okay, so these are just a few that can make this change. One more, vestir. vestir, to get dressed or to dress, and also competir, which means to compete. These are all going to make the same change. That E, if my subject is yo, tú, usted, él, ella, ustedes, ellos, ellas, it's going to make the change. All right, so it's really, really important that you pay attention to who is your subject, because if nosotros is your subject, there is no change. Okay? Only in our other verbs. Today's lesson is short and sweet and to the point. Let me know if you have any questions.